The air was thick with tension as I pulled up to the secluded house deep in the woods. My family had always been close, but something about this visit felt different. Off, even. I couldn't shake the eerie sensation that had settled over me since I'd arrived. My relatives, Aunt Margaret and Uncle Samuel, were the kind of people who lived far from civilization. Their old, ramshackle home seemed like it was carved out of the forest itself, a place where the trees grew so thick that even daylight struggled to pierce through. It had been years since I'd seen them, and their sudden invitation had caught me off guard. As I approached the house, I noticed the unusual symbols etched into the wooden fence that surrounded their property. Strange, unsettling patterns that I couldn't quite place. Shivers raced down my spine, but I pushed them aside, attributing it to my overactive imagination. The door creaked open, revealing Aunt Margaret and Uncle Samuel. Their faces were drawn and pale, their eyes devoid of the warmth I remembered. They greeted me with chilly smiles, and the atmosphere grew even more uneasy. Inside, the house was dimly lit, the walls adorned with bizarre artwork and unsettling sculptures. My unease deepened as I noticed the recurring symbols, etched into the furniture and woven into the fabric of the curtains. I hesitated to ask about them, but Aunt Margaret quickly changed the subject, steering the conversation away from anything that might reveal their true intentions. As night fell, I was shown to a guest room, its walls lined with bookshelves filled with ancient leather-bound tomes. The room seemed to pulse with a malevolent energy, and I couldn't help but feel trapped. Unable to sleep, I crept out of my room and followed a faint, eerie chanting that seemed to emanate from the depths of the house. I traced the sound through winding corridors until I arrived at a locked door. Through the keyhole, I glimpsed a flickering candlelight and heard hushed voices. My curiosity got the best of me, and I managed to find a spare key to the room. As I slowly pushed the door open, my heart pounded in my chest. What I saw inside sent a cold shock through my veins. A circle of figures, including Aunt Margaret and Uncle Samuel, stood in the centre of the room, dressed in hooded robes adorned with the same disturbing symbols. In the middle of the circle lay a sacrificial altar, and on it, a writhing figure bound in chains. The figure's eyes met mine, filled with terror and pleading. I stumbled back, unable to comprehend what I was witnessing. My relatives were part of a dark cult, one that practiced unspeakable rituals in the dead of night. The realization hit me like a sledgehammer, and panic set in. I knew I had to escape, to flee from this nightmarish house of horrors. But as I turned to leave, the cultists' chants grew louder, and their attention shifted to me. Their eyes, filled with madness, bore into mine, and I knew there was no turning back. With a burst of fear-fueled adrenaline, I ran, racing through the twisting hallways, pursued by the echoing chants of the cultists. My heart pounded in my chest, and I prayed for salvation. As I burst through the front door and into the darkness of the forest, I couldn't shake the feeling that I had narrowly escaped a fate worse than death. My relatives, once beloved, were now lost to the darkness, ensnared in a world of unspeakable horror. I fled through the woods, vowing never to return to that accursed house. The memory of that night would haunt me forever, a reminder that even the closest of family ties could hide the most sinister of secrets. Thank you for listening to Storyteller's Realm of Fear. I hope this tale has sent shivers down your spine and made you question the mysteries that lurk in the darkness. In these uncertain times, it's crucial to stay safe and vigilant, especially during the night walks that beckon curiosity. If you hunger for more spine-tingling stories and wish to explore the depths of fear with me, please consider subscribing to Storyteller's Realm of Fear. We have many more tales of terror waiting in the shadows, ready to be unleashed upon your eager ears. Until then, may your nights be peaceful, your dreams undisturbed, and your footsteps cautious when venturing into the unknown. Fear, after all, is a doorway to a world of mysteries best approached with caution. Good night, dear listeners, and remember to stay safe.